All right, guys, we are out here. Day one, Albatross V2. Pretty stoked. We're at a new location here. Berkeley, Richmond area. Some little crappy roadside location. And there we are, the Albatross V2. There's not a whole bunch of goals today other than get it in the water, see how watertight it's going to be. Test out everything. I don't even have a rudder system on it right now. I'm just having differential, I'm just using differential propulsion between both sides on each hole, and I can obviously steer that way. But I don't know how to configure that yet with my my flight controller. Otherwise, I would just eliminate the rudder system. It's just another issue, a potential issue. But I don't know how to have the differential thrust added in there, but maybe once I actually open up that program and see and dig around a bit, I might be able to figure that part out. So we might just be eliminating the rudders. There are mounts, as you'll see on the back of it, but there's no rudders in there, just using differential thrust. We also have 3 separately transmitting cameras on board, one in each hole behind the motor and really at that first bulkhead from the rear, because I'm expecting some water intrusion through the propeller shaft area, but we'll see. So yeah, we have a camera on each separately there, all on separate relays and independently turned on and off to, regulate power usage. And then we have our forward facing one, which is, I do have the battery in my pocket. I might use that one as well. I just don't see a need. I'm not going to drive it very far, and I know that system. It's the same Black Mamba V2 that was used in the previous Albatross. So I'm not really planning on operating that one today. My left side hole, camera, and everything is mounted, wired, transmitting, but it's still like capped on the lens and not focused because I just haven't worried about that one, but I know my right side is. I might kind of test that one out, but they are using the same transmitters. I'll put that up here. I can't remember. It was some, maybe $40, $50, maybe even $30 long range transmitting thing I haven't used before, so I'm utilizing 2 of them. They do have like onboard mic and onboard recording themselves, which the Black Mamba V2 maybe does have an SD card slot, I don't know. But the one I've been using previously, I record through the transmitter itself. So it would be nice to have like locally recorded video on board. There's obviously many more parts that I incorporated into this build, but here are a few, just in case you were wondering. I utilized 2 of these quick run ESCs. I utilized 2 of these 4S motors. 3 of these cameras with separate transmitters, 2 of these 6500 milliamp 4S batteries, 2 of these cooling fans for the motors, obviously 1 of these flight controllers, several of these BACs to reduce the voltage, a couple of these motor mounts mixed in with 3D printed parts, and here are the video transmitters minus the one Black Mamba V2. Here are the 4 bilge pumps I'm using, and I'm using 2 of these propellers right here. All right, here we are. This is the V2, guys. Obviously, I don't have my panels covering these 12-volt battery packs there. I haven't plugged it in. This is still a rough draft of what it's going to be. Really testing the concept here a bit. Different hole design. It is longer. It is more narrow. I went over some of the previous structure. Like hydrodynamic changes in the hole shape in the last video, but mainly that much more angular front section, and then in the rear, I have let me show you. All right, so the rear hole shape is a lot different than before. It's more of a shaft coming out, and then we got that little recession in the hole, hopefully allowing more water to flow prior to the propeller, because we seem like we're having a lot of ventilation going on because the previous hole design just looped down right there, had the propeller sticking out the back. So I felt like as soon as it started moving, it displaced that water, the hole did, and then there was no water for the propeller to turn. Anyways, yeah, let's pop her open, show you inside. So both of these sides are duplicated, okay, but I can show you one here. There's just a little friction fitting there. So the fans are hardwired in, the cooling fans for the ESC, which is there, and the transmitter, which is there, which does get pretty warm. The ESC does have its own separate fan, but either way, just provides ventilation to the waterproof, well, water resistant case, I should say. But it really does provide some good aeration for, or cooling for this video transmitter here, which they do get hot. But that's hardwired in, so as soon as I plug in the 12-volt system, those both just run, and they run continuously. They only draw, I believe, like 0.15 of an amp, so very, very minimal battery discharge from those guys going. We do have two separate 12-volt systems, which was not like that in the previous Albatross. It shared that single 12-volt system. Obviously, those are displaced forward now. Everything in the previous one was towards the rear. Hopefully trying to pull that nose section down. I really got to learn my nautical terms, guys, sorry, but pulling the nose more down into the water, because before, I mean, the front of the Albatross barely even touched the water on a, you know, no wake area. Same propellers, different motors. I went over that in the last video, but 1900 kV 4S, I don't know, 120 hobby wing amp, ESCs running 4S, forgot what C rating it is, and then 6500 milliamp hour 4S batteries, dual. Yeah, pretty simple. So, and then, again, this is just a test here, really seeing how watertight the hole is. This hole has never been in the water. What else are we testing? Some of the video transmission, how these are all going to behave being this close in proximity. Obviously, we're not using the center one today. What else? Hopefully we won't have to utilize any of the bilging system too much, but maybe the bilge. Both of the rear bilges, not the front bilges. For some reason, I don't know where the bilge from the fourth bilge from the Albatross, the first Albatross went, but I'll locate it and it'll be up there. This one's not wired in. There is one down here. Then we have two in the very rear section. That one's operating normally, off on, separate relays. And this one, for some reason, is all on, it won't turn off like in the previous Albatross. And I'm wondering maybe it's that relay I'm using, but we'll see. That's not a big concern. I don't plan on using them today too much. If it takes on tons of water, I think we'll just kind of call it. All right, let's see how it goes. It's been in the water a few minutes now. Really can't tell whether it's taking on water or not. The difference of dust is actually beautifully marking. Let me see what it looks like inside this whole section on the camera here. I don't see much water. I do see a little glistening. I bet you guys cannot see that on this guy, but I can see inside the right hole, which doesn't seem to be setting any lower than the left, and I think we're fine. So I can't tell whether that's on for my cooling fans or off. Let me drive it over here and figure that part out, because I need to know that for my motors. I cannot tell which is on, so please deal with it that way. Okay. Uh-oh. I think I might have some looseness on that right-hand hole. That thing sounds funky. Oh yeah, maybe our propeller's loose or something. Let's drive this bad boy in and see, because I have way more authority on my right-hand side. What's going on here? Oh, I see. A little sketchy to do this while it's on, but covered in seaweed. Covered in seaweed. Go ahead and give it a listen for some water in the system here. does not seem to have a lot, if any. All right. Look at that speed now, guys. Oh, dude, that is lovely. Look at the speed in that control now. Full speed into the land here. Definitely getting wet. Oh shit. Definitely getting a bit wet, but you know, it's a boat. They get wet. I mean, look at this right here. Oh, dude, yes. You gonna drive it out there? Look at that. Definitely to work on waterproofing. Just maybe even just splash proofing all of this. Going.
Good, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Khaleesi, come on, get in that water. Hey, no. Get in that water and cool off. No, go. No, Khaleesi, no. Go back and get in that water right now. No. Go on, get in the water. Go on, in the water. Seriously? Fuck, girl.
Hopefully, I'll get this thing slightly taken apart and dried up here on the table. See if I can get that ESC performing properly. It's already late afternoon today, or late evening, I should say. So I highly doubt that I'll get a chance to do it today, but maybe tomorrow after work or before work. I'll have it running properly enough to give it a good second run there. Kind of test some of this water shielding I put on there. But that's all. Yeah, I just keep having issues with the shaft. Either the shaft or the motor back there getting corroded and becoming a lot harder to turn. I'm gonna remove this later on after work and see what the issue is. Other than that, we're gonna get this ESC issue resolved, get this guy back in the water and continue testing, and just take these problems as they come. Thank you for watching.
Hey, to whoever may need this nugget.